beach weather has lingered. There is not a cloud to be found in the southwest Michigan sky tonight as you are looking at Al Stockman Stadium in Stevensville, where tonight it's high school football for Michigan. The Niles Vikings visit the Lakeshore Lancers on this edition of the 46th game of the week. And how you doing, everybody? Alongside the Hall of Famer Bo Hunt and Angelo DiCarlo on the sidelines. Chuck Freeby, great to have you with us for another exciting day and night of high school football on TV 46. The Niles Vikings, not a team we're used to seeing having a lot of success. But boy, they've got 17 starters back, Bo, and they looked like they were in mid-season form last week against St. Joe, winning 55-0.
When you look at Scott Shaw's team, returning 17 players, that's something that you're going to take your lumps early the years previous to that, because they're going to be young guys that are going to be coming up. And he understood that, and the program understood that. And that's why where they are today, because he started with some guys when they were freshmen and sophomores. And hey, look out, because they're juniors and seniors now, and they're experienced.
But Scott Shaw is taking nothing for granted against this Lakeshore squad tonight.
Well, they throw it all over the yard, and you know, they're big and they're strong and they're fast. So well coached, and you know, it's a totally different preparation than it was last week. So, and with the short week, you know, we hopefully we got everything that we needed to get in as far as preparation for them, and we'll see tonight.
While the Vikings were handing out punches last week, Danny Thompson's Lancers were taking one on the chin from Zeeland West. But this is a resilient Lakeshore team, one that's used to winning, and they're hoping to resume their winning ways tonight.
Well, they definitely are, but one of the key factors is their quarterback. So they've had to replace him last year, and now they're putting pieces in different spots, and they're bringing linebackers over in different areas. They're never going to make an excuse, and Coach Thompson will never make an excuse for about injuries, about people in different spots. But trying to replace a quarterback with a guy that's a linebacker or a guy that's not quite the communication leader and being used to that, that's tough to do in a high school football season.
Still, Danny Thompson is high on his team coming into tonight's game.
We're going to be more of a balanced attack. I don't know if we're going to be, you know, Korfmacher way over the top. We're going to have to take our chances, but now it's more about dinking and dunking and really, we have a really good offensive line, we think, led by Jake Chelman, so leaning on him with our back with Asher Kuhn. So probably more balanced this year than going over the top. But we'll take some shots for sure.
Angelo DiCarlo will follow all kinds of storylines tonight as he roams the sidelines. But here's one that strikes me, Ange, and that's the fact that Lakeshore is a traditional power in Southwest Michigan. This is a program used to winning. Niles isn't a traditional power, but their kids seem to expect to win now.
You have to go back to 1979, the last time Niles won more than 7 games in the season. I wasn't born yet. Bo was playing Pee Wee football, and Chuck was in 9th grade at Elkhart Central. So it's been a bit, to say the least, for the Niles Vikings in terms of that, but they've had more success as of late. Lakeshore's won 18 in a row in the series, but when you go and beat St. Joe 55-0, that takes away the intimidation factor a little bit coming in here to Stevensville to face Lakeshore, and I think we're expecting big things from Niles tonight. But again, they have to make sure that they're making their improvement from week 1 to week 2 after having a great week themselves.
18 in a row, that sounds like the rivalry between a hammer and a nail. But maybe tonight is the night that the nail gets its revenge. We'll find out. A lot to talk about in our keys to win, and we'll do it next on our St. Joe County Police Department pregame show on TV 46.
This is the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Bill's Heating, Health Markets, Tony Letcher, St. Joseph County Police Department, Martin's Supermarkets, Tire Rack, HealthLink, Raising Cane's, Crown Trophy, API St. Andrews Products, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, and the IHSAA.
And this edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. But it's an open the windows kind of night in Stevensville tonight as we bring you in for the St. Joe County Police Department pregame show. Only fitting as they honor first responders here tonight at Al Stockman Stadium, and the Lancers being introduced for the home opener. Let's get you ready for this one with the keys to win. We'll start with the visitors from Niles as the American flag is brought out. And when you talk about this Niles team, plenty of heroes, but Sam Rucker is maybe the biggest one from week 1. The wingback ran for 195 yards and 3 touchdowns last week in the win over St. Joseph, but he's also one of their all-time sack men with 18 career sacks. He'll get some help from Paul Hess, the 5'10", 200-pound junior. Just a beast in the weight room, and he shows it when he runs. We saw him last year against Buchanan score 3 touchdowns. He had 3 last week against St. Joe. The keys to win for Scott Shaw and the Vikings.
The keys to win tonight for the Vikings, they must control that line of scrimmage up front. That's offense and defense. In order for their offense to really propel like they want to, they have to control that line of scrimmage. Contain the passing game on defense. They're not sure what they're going to get out of this Lakeshore in the passing effect, but they need to make sure they contain that. And they need to get to a quick start, just like they did last week. 22 points in that first quarter. Get out quick to that quick start.
Meanwhile, for the Lakeshore Lancers, let's talk about their guys. Matt Vaughn, the quarterback and linebacker, 6'5", 205, and a senior. And we'll do that in a moment. But the colors being presented here at Al Stockman Stadium by the ROTC Color Guard from the Civil Air Patrol and the members of the Stevensville American Legion Post who are raising the flag. And the Lakeshore Marching Band ready to help honor America with the playing of our national anthem. They love their fireworks here in Southwest Michigan, and they're hoping their Lakeshore Lancers can provide some as well tonight. We mentioned the quarterback is Matt Vaughn, the big 6'5", 205-pound senior. Last week, threw for 81 yards and a touchdown, also rushed for 43. By the way, he's also the middle linebacker and the long snapper, so he's got to do a lot out there, but he gets some help from his buddy Zach Ort, 6'3", 195 pounds, and the senior. The speedster caught 3 passes last week for 33 yards and a tutty, and also played a solid game at outside linebacker. The keys to win for Danny Thompson and the Lancers.
The Lancers need to be disciplined on defense. They're going up with this option offense that they got to defend, and they got to make sure they stay in their lanes and don't over pursue. They need to have speed and space. They need to understand where their zones are, where their coverage is, and make sure they're very fast in those coverages. And they need to play with confidence. They came out last week, didn't have a lot of confidence. They got to build on that week 1 game that they had and really get some confidence going forward today.
As Anj mentioned in the open, the series history rather one-sided. Lakeshore leads at 27-2. They've been playing each other since '93, and Lakeshore won the last meeting back in 2020, 44-6. This is the first time that Scott Shaw has ever coached at Al Stockman Stadium. The weather tonight glorious here in Southwest Michigan. 71 sunshiny degrees, a gentle zephyr out of the north at 4 miles an hour to ripple Old Glory, and there's not a chance of rain in the sky tonight. Lakeshore won the toss and elected to receive. Andrew Qatar will do the kicking for Niles. And back deep for the Lancers, well, the real deep man is Lucas Fay, and we'll see who else is back there with him. That's Fay, number 7. Just about ready for football here in Southwest Michigan. Glad you've joined us on this Labor Day weekend on TV 46. Qatar on the approach. It's a high spinner that'll be taken by the alternate deep man and brought out to about the 28-yard line, as it was Jordy Morris on the return that time for Lakeshore. So the Lancers will start at 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. And as we mentioned, Matt Vaughn, the quarterback from this team. Vaughn, a three-sport, really a four-sport athlete here at Lakeshore. He started on the wrestling team, moved to basketball last winter, and also a member of the track team. And despite being 6'5", 205, considered one of the fastest members of this team, he'll hand it off to his running back, and nothing doing for Asher Kuhn that time. The senior met at the line of scrimmage as we get a chance to meet the Lakeshore offense. And as you see Kuhn in the backfield, Caden Griffiths, a freshman, getting some time at receiver. Ort, the leading receiver. Jake Chelman, considered by Coach Danny Thompson one of the top linemen in the state of Michigan, anchors the offensive line at center. It's 2nd and 10. Vaughn looks to the sideline to see if there's a change in the play. The play clock down to 5, as you see on the Tire Rack scoreboard. Kuhn takes it up the middle and finds a hole. And Asher Kuhn close to the first down. In fact, I think he got it up to the 38-yard line, a pickup of 10. And the offense moves the chains for Lancer first down as we meet the Niles defense. And the starting lineup for the Viking defense brought to you by the Niles Athletic Booster Club. Isaiah Moore had a strong week last week against St. Joseph. Sam Rucker with 6 tackles. Paul Hess 5.5 in the linebacking crew. And then Julian Means-Fluellen with 5 tackles last week, along with Peyton Cole in the secondary. It's Kuhn again, working his way up the field and gets it up to the 43 for a pickup of 5.
Lakeshore really trying to work that middle of the line, really trying to get the Niles defense to really clamp down so they can try to hit the corners and try to have a little bit more speed and a little bit more success on that outside later in the game.
Danny Thompson, known as a guy that likes to air it out, but I think he played to his personnel somewhat when he had Ryan Korfmacher at quarterback. Different quarterback now, and he's keeping it on the ground, and why not? Kuhn's got another first down and more. Past the midfield stripe into Viking territory. And Lakeshore will move the chains again as Jaden Ivory came up to make the hit.
Big shout out to Horizon Realty Group, as they are our first quarter sponsor. They're proud to support the Vikings as they kick off another great football season. Kyle Zelmer and his team are natives of Southwest Michigan, and they're market experts. If you're ready to list or buy, they'll put their experience to work for you. Find them at moveyourhorizon.com.
Vaughn will hand it off one more time, but this time Niles is ready as the interior of that defensive line had had enough, and big Jimmy Gaia comes in and makes the stop from the defensive line spot. Loss of 1 on the play. Niles was strong against the run last year and strong against it last week. They only gave up 101 rushing yards to St. Joe. But the passing game is what hurt Scott Shaw's team at times last year on defense, and we'll see if Lakeshore goes to it here on 2nd and long.
Yeah, that's one of the areas I know Coach Shaw wanted to work on, was those DBs and the coverage of the passes in the seams and downfield.
It would appear he's got man coverage, and Vaughn finds his slot receiver, Caden Griffiths, and the speedy freshman is knocked out of bounds at the 48 just to pick up a 3.
Nice quick release by Vaughn to get the ball out there, but great coverage by the Niles cornerback.
Griffith's part of a legacy family here at Lakeshore. His dad, Kyle, was a baseball state champion, member of the football team. His brother, Trevor, just graduated last year and holds the school record for touchdown receptions. 3rd and 8. Vaughn drops back, has time, and his receiver dropped the football. Alex William will rue the day on that one.
Nice little look. Vaughn put the ball right on the numbers. Got to catch that ball with your hands. Don't let it hit the numbers. When you put it on the numbers, don't let it hit the numbers. Put your hands up there receive that ball right in with those hands. I mean, he might have even had a seam there to go the distance he catches that ball.
He didn't have the hands vertically. He had them cupping under the football. So Lakeshore has to punt it away with Woyan, and it'll take a Lancer roll and go inside to the 17-yard line. So a 31-yard punt with no return. And Niles will now get its first chance with the football with the junior Talon Brawley at quarterback, his 3rd year as a starter in this offense. And Bo, the experience in this triple option attack starting to show here for Niles. They really came on strong second half of last year, gave Edwardsburg a game in the playoffs.
It usually takes about a half a season to really understand and get in the flow of this type of offense. And with the guys returning that he has from last year, they're just going to go right in. And you saw last week with their score and their ability to run for almost 400 yards in last week's game is that it never stopped where they kept building on from last season.
Brawley ranked number 2 in his class. Paul Hess is the running back behind him, and it's Hess running over people getting to the 22-yard line for a pickup of 5 on his first carry as we get a chance to meet this Niles offense. We told you about Sam Rucker. Keep an eye on the all-conference wingback, Julian Means-Llewellyn. He can fly. The receiver's brand new this year. The offensive line all back from a year ago, and the only senior in the bunch now is Carson Clanton. 2nd and 5. Rucker in motion, takes the pitch and tried to take it around the outside, but he's thrown down on a nice play by the Lakeshore defense. Is coming up and making the hit was Alex Toothman. And we get a chance to meet that Lakeshore defense. Along with Toothman, Jake Shellman comes over from the offensive line. Zach Meacham, one of the leaders on this team in tackles at the linebacker spot. And then in the secondary, keep an eye on the veteran Alec Woyan, the 3-year starter, along with Matt Vaughn in the linebacking core. Give Rucker 2 on the play. It's 3rd and 3. Play clock down to 6. And it's Brawley keeping it himself, and the quarterback's got a first down before he's upended at the 30-yard line. A great read by Talon Brawley that time, and a pickup of 6.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to what they do because they have a lot of different formations. We saw last week with Mishawaka when they were running this offense. Novell Miller, when he was coming up, they would hit him and tackle him even if he didn't have the ball. Whereas that last play, Hess went untouched all the way up through the middle. A lot of times with that play right there, if you reads the quarterback and the guy that has the fullback gets knocked out of the play, that's looking for a long gain.
Caden Griffiths made the hit that time. Now they do give it to Hess this time, and the big fella goes rumbling for another Niles first down up to the 42-yard line. A pickup of 11 for Paul Hess III. Hess, man, is he a strong kid. Power lifter. He can squat over 500, and he benches 375. Not bad for a 200-pounder.
Not bad at all. I think you were putting that up last week, weren't you?
I teased him during the summer. I said when I'd see those pictures of him in the weight room, I said, those are plastic, right? It's Brawley keeping it himself, and another great read by Talon Brawley as he takes it up to the 45-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 14 for the Niles quarterback, and the Vikings move the chains again as you get another look at the 46 replay. Well, I asked Scott Shaw specifically, I said, I don't remember during your time at Elkhart that you were a triple option coach. And he said, no, I was a spread coach. He said, I vowed if I ever got back in it, I would learn and run the triple option offense. I think he's glad he does.
Yeah, I think so. And we all know, and he knew that it's going to take time for everybody to buy into that type of offense, everybody to buy into the understanding of it. You can see the effects of that, the way last year ended and the way this year has started.
He was lucky he inherited a terrific freshman class, which is now a junior class at Niles, and they are really executing well as Hess goes on a 5-yard run there. But the guy that makes it go is this kid, number 2, Talon Brawley. Helps when the quarterback of your option offense has to make good decisions, and ranks number 2 in his class.
Yeah, you got to be smart to run this type of offense the most effective way.
Now this time, Hess gets snowed under and brought down after a pickup of 1 as the Niles defense appeared to have had enough. Juan Del Hoyo coming in and making the hit.
Niles offense doesn't really hurt either, that having 250 and 270 and 240 across that offensive line. They got some big hosses up front there.
And correction, it was Zach Meacham that made the hit that time for Lakeshore, number 25. 3rd and 4, and definitely 4-down territory here for the Vikings. Brawley pitches to Rucker, and he squeezes through the hole for the first down and more. Sam Rucker all the way down to the Lakeshore 20. It's a pickup of 19 on the play. Some daring do from Brawley with this pitch.
Yeah, I mean, look at the block on the outside, though. Sustaining that block, kicking it out, and staying with it on his shoulder. Could have easily been called a clip, but he stayed with his hands on the shoulder to get him out just far enough so he could cut back on the inside.
This drive started all the way back at the Niles 17-yard line. They're down to the Lakeshore 20, 1st and 10. End around to Julian Means-Fluellen, and it didn't fool anybody. Least of all, Zach Meacham. Meacham comes in and makes the hit from his defensive end spot. And he had some help from Cohen Hurdle.
Yeah, it's just a great job of reading the trap block and following that lineman in, understanding that's where the play's going to go.
2nd and 10. Michael Chisonga is the receiver, split wide to the left in this formation. Brawley only threw 1 pass last week in the win over St. Joseph. He's going to run it here, protects the football and picks up about 3, but Lakeshore making some better defensive reads right now.
Ender's Auto Repair on Red Arrow Highway cheers for the Lancers. Have a great season. Everything from changing the oil to changing engines, Ender's Auto Repair is your full service shop.
Niles looking at a 3rd and 7. Lakeshore's defense has bent a lot on this drive, but can Niles finally break them? Brawley finally letting the team know the play, and the play clock's under 10. It's a pistol look, and Brawley wants to throw in the flat, has his man, and that is a Niles touchdown. Brendan Olson with his 2nd grab of the year. The 6'4" sophomore takes it in from 17 yards out, and the Vikings are on the board.
That's just a really good look. Dropping back, get the little fake, let them know you're thinking about running. Just throwing that ball out there so your receiver can catch it. Not leading him, not throwing him anywhere. Pick up that 1st down was the most important thing.
Olson just able to stretch the ball over the goal line for his 1st receiving touchdown of his Vikings career. Andrew Katahar on to try the extra point. It is up and it is good. 4:01 remains here in the 1st quarter. The Niles Vikings with an impressive 83-yard drive, capped by Talon Brawley's 1st touchdown pass of the year. Vikings lead at 7-0 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by Tire Rack. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Take a look at Brendan Olson over on the Niles sidelines. The sophomore snaring his 1st touchdown grab, a 17-yarder from Talon Brawley, 7-0.
Yeah, Brawley threw 1 pass last week, threw 1 pass this week, already in the 1st quarter for a touchdown. I think that's one of the weapons Coach Shaw has at Niles, is the ability, if they do want to throw the ball, they can throw it a little bit as well. They don't have to just run that option every single time in 3rd and long or 4th and short. They might be able to pass the ball a little bit this year as well.
By the way, let's remind you our 1st quarter tonight is being brought to you by our friends at Horizon Realty Group. After the successful extra point, Qatar on to do the kicking. Jordy Morris and Fay are back deep. And it's Morris from his 12. And he who hesitates gets tackled. Logan Olson comes in and makes the stop on special teams, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the 22.
Nice open field tackle by Olson. And returning the kicks like that, when you're a returner, you got to stay full speed and make your cuts. No hesitation. And when you return punts or kicks.
Our officiating crew tonight, Paul Guthrie, Brian Guritz, Austin Zapata, Matt Garrett, and Skylar Freeman. The Michigan High School Athletic Association also looking for more officials. Just like Indiana, they have an official shortage as well. So if you're interested, find out who to contact in your area, and they'll get you on their way to licensing. Asher Kuhn on the carry for Lakeshore manages to work forward for about a yard on the play. Kuhn now with 6 carries and 21 yards on the night.
Going to Kuhn up the middle. Often here in the first quarter, trying to set stuff up, like I said, for stuff for the outside, really trying to get that Niles defense to kind of bite down a little bit more.
Niles defense was moved on in the first drive, and if Lakeshore connects on a 3rd down pass, which hit the receiver in the hands, might have been a much different ending to that drive for the Lancers. As it is, it's 2nd and 9. And the handoff goes to somebody who's not Asher Kuhn this time. It's going to be Zach Ort, who lined up in the backfield, and he gets up to the 29-yard line. So for Ort, that's his first carry of the season. And the speedy receiver normally picks up 5 on the play. You know who we haven't seen carry the ball yet is the quarterback Vaughn, who carried it 13 times last week. You wonder if he might call his own number here on 3rd and 4. No, he's going to give it off again, and Ort's going to be close, but I don't think he made the first down marker.
No, it looks like it's going to be about a yard short. They'll bring up an interesting 4th down here in your own territory. Niles just scored.
Danny Thompson, a gambling man right here. He's got a big quarterback in Vaughn, though, has some confidence in the big 6'5" fella, and he used that frame to get it forward and get what appears to be a Lakeshore first down. And in fact, the side judge says go ahead and move those chains.
Here's the replay of it. Didn't look like he had it at first. Got a little stuffed right there at the start, but then he rolled off to the side and picked up that first down.
All about the angle sometimes on that quarterback sneak. But math would tell you, if you've got a quarterback that's 6 feet or bigger, he should be able to get 2 yards.
Yep.
Now from the gun, they give it to Ort again. He slams off the right side and manages to work his way forward. And it's blown dead at the 37-yard line. That's still a nice pickup of 4 for Ort.
Order like a champ with the Raising Cane's mobile app, and you'll be able to feed the whole team this football season with hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy cut crinkle fries, fresh coleslaw, buttery Texas toast, and their secret cane sauce. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
And again, it's the handoff to Ort, and Ort off the right side has another Lakeshore first down up to the 43-yard line. So all of a sudden, Lakeshore looking for ways to get the ball into the hands of their speedster, and they found it, although that handoff wasn't the prettiest thing. It almost looked as though Vaughn was trying to pull it away, and Ort said, no, give it to me.
Yeah, Vaughn trying to get his first carry of the night, read something there, but worked out in the end.
So 1st and 10. A valuable drive for Lakeshore's offense. If nothing else, it gives the defense a little bit of a chance to catch its breath, although many of the players go both ways. Vaughn to throw out in the flat, and it's complete to Lucas Fay, and Fay is knocked out of bounds after about a pickup of 4. Just a quick little dump route, and that's one of the things Danny Thompson said, is that the offense is a little bit different this year. In the past, they've been able to really press the downfield game. They don't have that kind of quarterback this year.
Yeah, I think they can get it down the field, but they got to hit the seams like they did in that first series. But you got to be able to hold on to the ball as well. And trying to get the ball out on those quick passes as well, you got to be able to sustain blocks and use your speed on the outside as well.
The shadows starting to cast across Al Stockman Stadium. Here's Asher Kuhn on the run, and Kuhn takes it up for about a pickup of 3. And that'll end the first quarter of play here at Al Stockman Stadium in Stevensville. A first quarter that's seen plenty of offense, but the only points scored by the Niles Vikings on this first responder night. And a salute to service. Lakeshore and Niles giving it their all. Talon Brawley's TD pass to Brendan Olson has the Vikings on top 7-0 as we head to the second on 46. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Raising Cane's. Craveable chicken finger meals. One love, that's Raising Cane's. Time now for our first Bills Plumbing Sideline Report of the night. Let's go downstairs. Angelo DiCarlo, your thoughts on the first 12 minutes of this one?
Well, I think it was very interesting that Lakeshore did go for it on that fourth down. I think that was for two reasons. One, your offense has been your bright side so far, and two, Niles' offense is looking awfully good, right? So you know with that triple option, Niles is going to eat away at that clock perhaps, so your opportunities are going to be limited, and you're getting some confidence perhaps in your offense. Might as well go for it, and it shows the confidence, and that's probably building some excitement on this sideline for Lakeshore and hoping to get a first down here.
So Lakeshore begins the second quarter, sponsored by Custom Tool and Die at the Niles 49-yard line with a big 3rd and 3. And it's Asher Kuhn, and he barely got back to the line of scrimmage, and now Danny Thompson's got another 4th down decision here. They'll give Kuhn a yard on the play. It's 4th and 2.
As Chuck mentioned, our second quarter sponsor is Custom Tool and Die. They're in Stevensville and a proud supporter of high school athletics. Join a team with 54 years in business. Custom Tool and Die is hiring program operators as well as CNC operators.
Little flip out into the flat, and Ort's got the first down as he takes it up to the 43-yard line. So they're finding all kinds of ways to get the ball into the hands of Zach Ort. I'm not sure if they'll call that a run or a pass, but either way, it's a first down.
Looked like that. I don't know. That's very questionable whether or not that was backwards or forwards. Of course, if he throws it backwards, that's considered a run, a lateral backwards. But well defended by Niles. They just couldn't make the tackle, open field tackle, and great first down by Lakeshore.
Ort is one of those players that Danny Thompson feels if you can get him out in space, he is a dangerous weapon. They've got another one in Caden Griffiths who touched the ball on the first drive, and we'll see if they wind up going back to him at some point. More of a traditional look here with Asher Kuhn carrying the football up to the 41, just a pickup of 2 that time for Kuhn. And Kuhn is finding the running tough against this Niles defense, as that time coming up and making the hit was Alex Cole. You know Alex well, a 5'6" senior.
Yeah, baseball player. Played against a lot of these, or with a lot of these kids on both these schools growing up, coaching baseball. A lot of these kids that are juniors and seniors, I've seen them since they've been 7, 8, 9 years old.
Lakeshore trying to shake off the effects of a really tough opening week loss at the hands of Zeeland West. But they were in that game early in the second quarter. They're certainly in this one. Vaughn heaves it out there and has a first down and more up to the 30-yard line as Cohen Hurdle makes his second catch of the year, and that's good for 11 yards for the Lakeshore receiver. You'll get another look on the 46 Sports replay. It's not a textbook throw, but it got the job done.
No, I mean, that's a tough throw on the back, thrown off the back foot a little bit. He could have got into it a little bit more, but he threw it over 2 defenders and in front of another one. That's kind of a tough throw to make, and that was spot on by Matt Vaughn.
That's the 6th first down of the game for the Lancers, but you don't get points for first downs. They're at the 30. Vaughn again sets. He wants to go deep down the field. Oh, he had a man open and threw it to the wrong side. He thought Woyan was going to be the deep man, and it was Ort who was 3 steps behind the secondary.
Yeah, I think it was just a great job by Alex Anderson from Niles on the defender. He did a good job of just getting his body in front of the wide receiver and letting him run into him. That way he wasn't putting his hands on him, and it slowed him up just enough to really throw that timing off.
2nd and 10. The play was there. It wasn't the worst call. Just not executed that time by Lakeshore. We'll see if they get another shot at it here. Going with double tights this time. Zach Meacham in the game, lines up at the tight end on the left side. Ort is in the slot on the left. Vaughn looking that way. He wants his man. He's got Ort. Touchdown, Lakeshore. Why not? It should have worked on the last play. It did work here.
Nice touch by Vaughn to Ort. Just a great job of just letting him go up to get it, not overthrowing the ball. Outran the defender a little bit. Nice touch, and extra point away from a tie ball game.
The fireworks exploding here in Stevensville. A.J. Singh now on to try an all-important extra point out of the hole to Jordy Morris. The snap and the set down and the kick are all good. And with 9:36 to go before halftime, this Southwest Michigan rivalry is what we expected. Vaughn to Ort, 6 for the Lancers, tied at 7 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by the St. Joseph County Police Department. Join the team, help protect and serve our community. And on this first responders night, you take a look at Zach Ort down on the Lakeshore bench, getting a break on special teams while he can, because he's got to go right back in the game for defense. But he showed some wheels in that drive.
I love how they responded to Niles' score. They came right back. Didn't let them really affect them attitude-wise. In fact, I think they threw the ball a little bit more and getting more comfortable with that passing game.
So the first touchdown of the year given up by the Niles defense. And what a bounce back here for Lakeshore. You know, a week ago against Zeeland West, they wound up losing that game 56-8. It was their worst regular season loss since 1986. But they have come back out here tonight and played with confidence and really moved the ball well on both their drives so far.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the passing game. They've been running the ball well tonight as well. And we knew we'd have a great ball game coming up here between two terrific schools, and so far we are.
It is a squib kick that'll be just rolled on top of by one of the up men for Niles and landed on by Alex Anderson at the 31-yard line. So that's where Scott Shaw's team takes over.
Well, it's almost that time of season. Yes, it's almost snow season, and MAAC Property Services is a family-owned company offering full-service commercial grounds maintenance and snow removal in northern Indiana and southwest Michigan. Celebrating 25 years of business in the year, MAAC Property Service is proud to support the Vikings as they start a great season of football. Go Vikings!
Hush your mouth with that snow talk, sir.
Well,
I'll hear none of that.
I just read the Farmer's Almanac today, and they said our winter's going to be one of the worst ones we've had in a while.
Talon Brawley hands it off to Paul Hess, and Hess will run forward for 6 yards on the carry. And you might as well have been reading the National Enquirer. Come on, man.
Oh, that the weather isn't correct when you read that? Spot on?
I don't know that anybody gets it right, do they? Okay, pickup of 7 on the play. Luke Ponton on the stop that time for Lakeshore. And Niles, which drained a lot of clock in its first drive, looking at a 2nd and 3 right here. This is only the 2nd possession of the game for the Vikings. The handoff again to Hess, and he just burrows his way into the middle of the defense for a first down. Hess with 6 more on the play. He's got 6 carries for 35 yards already tonight.
The Lakeshore football boosters thank everyone who contributed to the Lakeshore football season. Thank you for your tremendous support, and good luck and go Lancers. We wish all the players a great year, and especially our seniors.
Hess ran for 65 yards last week in the win over St. Joseph, but last year on the season, 812 yards and 8 touchdowns in his sophomore year. He's already got some Division III colleges and maybe some MAC schools coming around taking a look. Pitch to Julian Means-Fluellen, and he could not get to the outside. The corners were waiting for him that time as Cohen Hurdle came up and made the stop.
Just a great collapse on the defensive side, and a nice blitz by the linebacker coming in. Right through the hole, was able to get him from the back.
If anything, it seems as though Lakeshore is committed to trying to take away the pitch on the outside. They'll live with giving up the 5 or 6 to Hess up the middle, so let's see if the Vikings go back to that. One of the things Scott Shaw told me on the first day of Niles practice this year, Talon Brawley was told, you've got the keys to the offense. So he's got the ability to make some reads. And here he goes calling his own number and being pushed out of bounds, but we've got a flag down on the play. Our first violation of the night coming in the 2nd quarter.
I think that's why nobody was open downfield. I think there was a holding call on the linebacker there.
So the first penalty of the night will go against the Lancers. It happened away from where we were looking on camera, so can't show it to you, but I can tell you that that should be a 5-yard penalty against Lakeshore, and unlike the NFL, I do not believe that is an automatic first down.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies in South Bend is globally known as a knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. Like the teams in this game, Imagineering is always working toward a great finish. Thank you, Imagineering, for your continued support of high school sports on TV 46.
Well, it is a 10-yard penalty, so in this case it is an automatic first down. And it puts the ball into Lakeshore territory at the 47-yard line. Good crowd on hand here tonight in Stevensville. Niles brought a lot of people. They have some high expectations in Viking country this year. It's Brawley on the sweep. And Brawley, as flags come down, will cut it back to the 49. That's still loss of 2 on the play, and then we'll see what this infraction is.
Yeah, it looked like maybe there had been a holding on the offense on the end of the line of scrimmage there, but looked like Brawley actually had a face mask against him as well as he went to try to cut back.
Yeah, but I don't think that's when the flag came out. I could be wrong. Danny Thompson says if it's against Niles, we want the penalty.
Yeah, it looked like the flag came in before.
And it is indeed against the Vikings. As you take a look at Danny in his 3rd year here at Lakeshore, he is a graduate of Thornville Kellogg High School and went to Olivet University. He was the offensive coordinator at Middleville High School, whose head coach is a fellow by the name of Jeff Dock, as in son of Denny. So when the Lakeshore job opened up, Jeff said, hey, I think there's a spot that you might like.
Yep, he scooped it up and came here and has loved it ever since.
So there's the 10-yard penalty against Niles, and now Scott Shaw's team looking at a 1st and 20, and really kind of the first adversity they have faced all season. A wishbone formation in the backfield. Brawley pitches out, means Fluellen trying to get to the outside, and here's another flag, and this one will likely be coming back.
Yeah, another holding call, I believe, is going to be called on that. One of the biggest things I see with Niles is their spacing on that pitch play. Their spacing isn't proper. They're not back far enough to receive that pitch at the proper angle, and that's just such a hard pitch to make, and especially this last one as well.
And we've got an injured Viking down on the field. We'll see if we can pick up what happened here. It was on the block on the outside. And right there, I think Sam Rucker, who is a big two-way player for Niles, went down with an injury. So we've got an official's timeout on the field while they tend to Rucker.
Yeah, if we can run that playback here again on the instant replay, we can kind of talk about that spacing. If we go in slow motion here, you can see the quarterback actually drops back instead of attacking that defensive end, and that's actually where that spacing gets messed up. You cannot waver away from that offensive line when you're coming straight down the line. Attack that defensive end, make him make that decision. Don't go away from it, and that's where that spacing got messed up.
Reminder, we've got a couple of radio programs coming up that we want to share with you. As coming up on Monday night at 7 o'clock, we'll talk all things Notre Dame football on the Notre Dame Federal Credit Union Irish Football Fix. And then Friday nights at 6, we talk all things high school football on the Tire Rack Drive to the Game. Both of those for you on 92.1, 96.9, and 103.1 FM. Let's go down to Angelo for a Bills Heating Sideline Report. He's got a special guest.
Here with the athletic director at Lakeshore, Greg Younger. Greg, salute to service. What made this all happen? What a beautiful night for it.
We have just outstanding boosters here, and this is the second year we've done something salute to service. Last year we did veterans, and this year we did our local first responders, and it's just outstanding that our boosters recognize these, make it a very special night.
How much fun is a night like this, especially with the crowd you guys have here? Always great support here in Stevensville.
It's always fun. Friday nights are where it's at here in Stevensville, and it's a great event.
And Thursday nights as well, I guess.
Thursday. It's been a long day. I've been here a long day.
All right, Greg, thank you very much. Chuck and Bo, back to you.
All athletic directors put in long days, and Greg Younger is one of the better ones in this area. Paul Hess with a pickup of 7 there, and we'll have to keep an eye out to see what Niles does to replace Sam Rucker on both sides of the football, as he was taken off the field with an apparent leg injury.
Still over there, looks like he's hobbling just a bit. He is up walking around, but very, very gingerly.
Meanwhile, Talon Brawley, the quarterback, looks to throw, fires a bullet, and has Olsen again right around the midfield stripe. About a 10-yard pickup on the play. And that'll set up the Vikings with a 3rd and long, about 13.
Niles Community Schools inspires and prepares all learners through diverse opportunities to challenge and enrich their future. Niles Community Schools understand that children learn in different ways and at different paces. A partnership with staff, parents, and community is needed for the success of all. They are here to partner with your family and provide the best educational opportunities. The Niles Athletic Booster Club and Niles Community Schools. Go Vikings!
Brawley again wants to throw, heaving it out there for Olsen, and the big fellow was well covered that time by Cohen Hurdle. 3rd down and what would appear to be a punting situation, and Sam Rucker is also the punter on this Niles team. So Scott Shaw will have to make an adjustment here and send out a new punter. And I believe it's going to be Andrew Qatar, the place kicker and kickoff specialist. Riley Denapolis, the deep man for Lakeshore, stands around his 15-yard line. Good snap, wobbly kick, but it takes a Niles roll, and it will be effective as it's a 32-yard kick with no return. And Lakeshore will get the ball when we come back. 5:41 to go in the first half. Tied at 7 between Lakeshore and Niles on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by API St. Andrews, 31 years of success. 7-7 ball game here in the first half, and the handoff goes to Asher Kuhn, and Kuhn is able to pick up about 2 on the play on his 10th carry of the night for 29 yards.
This game's health tip is brought to you by HealthLink. Healthy kids are better students and better athletes. Schedule an annual wellness checkup at HealthLink today. HealthLink offers medical, dental, vision, and more.
Lakeshore in a 7-7 tie with Niles. The Lancers have won 18 consecutive games in this series. On 2nd and 8, the quarterback keeper with Matt Vaughn, and Vaughn with that 6'5" frame, dragging tacklers up to the 25-yard line. You'll meet Matt at halftime, one of our Tony Letcher Health Market Student Athletes of the Week. Affable young man.
Very physical game as that play was going on. Saw the DB and wide receiver out here. No even part of the play, way off, just going at it, blocking each other, taking each other to the ground. Legal play by both. Stopped after the whistle, but very physical out there tonight between these two schools.
3rd and 4. Danny Thompson had some success throwing the ball in the last possession. We'll see if he can here as they throw it to the outside, and what a lick. Holy smokes. Coming up and making the hit for Niles was Talon Bennett. Take another look here on the 46 Sports replay.
Wow, just a great job. Didn't lower his head, kept his head up. And when I was talking the play before that about the two guys going at it, those two were the two going at it right there. And just a great job. Very physical game out there. And to see Sam Rucker's back in the game.
It's good to see Sam back in there, but what a hit by Bennett. And now Lakeshore looking at a 4th and 1. Lucas Fay did a great job to hang on to the ball. I think Danny Thompson's going to use a timeout here to earn his team a little bit of time to make this decision with 3:30 to go first half.
You know, it's a big weekend coming up this weekend, and Plymouth has this thing every year for the past 57 years, the Blueberry Festival, and that's happening this weekend. And you need to bring the whole family. They have great food, great family fun, and check out all the festivities at blueberryfestival.org.
Also this weekend on TV 46. If you're watching this Friday afternoon, you'll get to see this game a couple times. If you're watching this on Saturday afternoon, well, you missed it. But Riley takes on John Adams at School Field. Friday night, we'll have the live stream at 6 p.m. and show it to you on TV 46. Friday night, 11, Saturday morning at 9. Dark Lee's team off to a 2-0 start for just the second time since 1997.
Yeah, just what he's done over there with that program, and love going to School Field and seeing that atmosphere, the old memories that are brought back from all the teams back in the day, from South Bend schools playing there, and all the games we've done there over the past few years as well.
Should be a great atmosphere. We'll have it for you Friday night and Saturday morning on TV 46. Great to get up here to Southwest Michigan as well. We're hoping to get another Michigan game on the schedule later in the season. 4th and 1 right here. And they'll bring Vaughn up under the line of scrimmage. And Niles jumped offside. Brandon Hamilton got a little anxious. 5 yards and a Lakeshore first down.
Martin's Supermarkets Groceries to Go annual subscriptions are now available. They're just $29.99 for the year, and they get ad pricing, digital coupons, recipes directly from your account. Learn more at martinsgroceriestogo.com.
There you see some of the students on hand. First week of school here at Lakeshore. They don't have to come the next couple of days. Friday and Labor Day are days off. Big 4-day tourism weekend here in the Wolverine State. 1st and 10. Vaughn ready to throw, has time, heaves it down the field as his man, but overthrew him. He was looking for Zach Ort again, and just a stride too far. Actually, that was Caden Griffiths, the freshman.
Yeah, it looked like Griffith got held up just a tad on that play. Otherwise, that would have been right in stride. Defender just kind of checked him up just a bit to knock him off stride.
This was one of the concerns Scott Shaw had coming into this game, was pass defense. He knows that Lakeshore is a team that can throw it around a little bit. The last time the Lancers nearly hit on a long pass, they came back the next play and did the same play. And guess what? They're going to the air again. Griffith's trying to get to the outside, but he's not fast enough to escape the Niles secondary that time. Bennett came up and made the stop.
I think the more they throw, the more confidence Vaughn gets, and the more confidence his receivers and offense get as well. And I think they understand they can throw against this defense.
But now Lakeshore looking at a 3rd and 5. Scott Shaw's got all 3 of his timeouts left here. And an incomplete pass would stop the clock. Vaughn pumps, fires down the field. Nobody open this time. Great coverage that time by Niles as they had Ort double covered. It'll be 4th down and decision time, and Danny Thompson's got to send the punting unit on here.
Yeah, definitely have to throw it out here. You do not want to turn the ball over to Niles in this situation with only 2:45 to go here in the second quarter. But Vaughn on that last play, he knew where he was going before he even threw it. And a lot of times in those situations, guys are double defended out there. Had a guy over the top, a guy underneath. You can't throw that pass. You got to look for your secondary receivers.
Alec Woyan takes the snap and just did get it away and kicked it away from Cole, who winds up getting it anyway at the 16 and uses that speed to bring it up the field and didn't go out of bounds till he got to the 35. So good field position for Niles. All 3 timeouts left and 2:34 to go before halftime.
Niles Athletics is proud of their accomplishments of their program. Last year, the Niles boys basketball team won a district championship. The girls volleyball won back-to-back conference championships. And finally, the varsity football coach, Coach Shaw, scored more points than any other football team in Niles football history. Go Vikings!
How about that for a stat? More points than any football team in Niles history. Tell you what else made them history makers. They scored 55 last week. And that was the most lopsided margin of victory in Viking history with that win over a good St. Joe squad. 1st and 10. Brawley on the keeper. The quarterback leans forward and picks up about 4 that time. Brawley on the night, 5 carries for 35 yards. 2nd and 6. We'll see if Niles picks up the tempo a little bit here on offense.
So they're kind of just taking their time setting up. And
some valuable seconds ticking away here.
they're changing footballs.
Now the clock stops as they get a new football onto the field.
They still had St. Joe's football out there. Yep.
Lakeshore's, you mean?
Or Lakeshore's.
You're in trouble if you say that around here. I'll tell you that, young man.
You just put the stat about last week. It got me. I'm blaming it on the screen.
2nd and 6. Line of scrimmage, the Niles 39. Hess the back behind Brawley. They throw in the flat to Brendan Olson, and Olson gets brought down right away. What a great play by Cohen Hurdle. He threw Julian Means-Fluellen away and made the tackle.
Way to shed a blocker and make the off-field tackle, because if not, he's picking up big yards there and possibly the 1st down.
So 3rd and 6. And actually, it's Caden Garrett in the game now at tailback behind Brawley. They fake to Garrett. Brawley steps up, throws too far for Olson. 4th down, and now Niles will have to punt it away, and Lakeshore may get one more shot.
Yeah, wow, wide open down the field. He hits him on stride. That's 6 points for sure. Just missed him, a little overthrown.
Scott Shaw encouraging his offense as they come off the field. His 34th year as a head coach. He's been around the game enough to know. Short week, got a team that was filled with success. Everybody telling them how good they are. Now they come here and find themselves in a dogfight. And a timeout is called with 1:12 to go in the 1st half. Tied at 7 between Lakeshore and Niles on 46. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. Chuck Freeby, Bo Hunt, Angelo DiCarlo back with you at Al Stockman Stadium in Stevensville, Michigan. Tied at 7, late in the 1st half, minute 12 to go, and Niles about to punt the ball away. And let's see if in calling the timeout, Danny Thompson has decided to go for a pump block here. They're still going with Andrew Qatar as the punter. And instead, they'll try to set up the return. Qatar with a high hanger. And Lakeshore will let it roll, and that's going to cost him yardage all the way down to the 18-yard line.
Looked like he was on a fair catch. It was the proper thing to do in that situation, but got nervous feet as soon as he saw people around him. Remember, as soon as you wave that hand, and again, you wave that hand, you see somebody close to you, go ahead and run into him. 15-yarder right there.
All right, Coach Hunt, minute 3. You got 1 timeout left.
Put it up.
You want to go ahead and air it out?
Oh, air it out. You're at home. Vaughn's been throwing the ball. Your defender or your wide receivers have been beating the defenders, but make sure you have one-on-one situations, not a guy over the top. And right here, you got one-on-ones.
Vaughn going to hand it off, though. Asher Kuhn with the stop, and Scott Shaw, I think, wants to get a timeout, and he will. He's got 3 left. He might as well use it.
Here to protect and serve our community, the St. Joe County Police Department is hiring immediately. Employment opportunities for high school graduates are available, and they offer a host of benefits and a true family environment on their team. Learn more at sjcindiana.com/employment.
Pro soccer comes your way Saturday night on TV 46 as the Indy 11 is back in action against the Circle City against Miami FC. No, this is not the Miami team that has Lionel Messi. I'm sorry, I wish it did. Nevertheless, it should be some great soccer action. Indy 11 has been playing much better as of late, and you can watch them Saturday night at 7 on your home for the 11, TV 46. Have you been caught up in the Messi fever? I know you're not a big soccer guy, but
Oh yeah. He's definitely an attraction for people, and he's good.
this just in. Breaking news.
I mean, I don't remember the stat, but his first game back, he had what, 2, 3, or
He had about a 9-game scoring streak
Yeah.
until last night.
yeah.
So he has been quite the attraction. Of course, we came up to Lakeshore for soccer. Angelo and I did this spring, part of our spring sports package, and that was a honey of a game, a 1-1 tie between Lakeshore and St. Joe. Matt Vaughn looks to throw, wants to go deep, has a man out there, and it's intercepted. What a beautiful interception for Niles, as coming over to make the play was Jaden Ivory. What an over-the-shoulder snare by Ivory.
Yeah, just a great job by Ivory. The ball was thrown to the inside of the receiver. The receiver couldn't get to the ball. And you can see Ivory just laying out for that ball.
I mean, that's not an easy catch, no matter the sport.
No, and decent field position, but yet under a minute to go here. Interesting to see what Coach Shaw does.
Well, Niles has had some open routes. The question now is, if you're Lakeshore, do you drop back and kind of protect the seams a little bit and maybe give up a little bit more in the rushing game? They'll pitch to Means Llewellyn to try to get him to the outside, and he does get out of bounds at the 44-yard line.
TireRack.com is proud to serve as our scoreboard sponsor for the TV46 Games of the Week. Since 1979, Tire Rack has been helping people find the right tires for how, what, and where they drive. They are also well known for supporting the Michiana community. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Raleigh under center. Another pitch out. Sam Rucker back in the game, makes a nice cut. Takes it up the field, has a first down into Lakeshore territory at the 49. Clock should stop as they move the chains. Pick up a 7 for Rucker, who has 3 carries for 28 yards tonight. Niles, though, taking its time getting under center. Brawley rolling out and falls down. Pressure was coming that time for Lakeshore was Andrew Byerly, and he'll be credited with a sack on a loss of 9.
Coach Shaw's going to take the timeout, but I think he's better that he took the sack on that, because if he throws the ball, he's going to be throwing it off his back foot and into pressure as well. So he could have turned that ball over very easily.
Good first half for the Lakeshore Lancers. Remember, they're coming off a horrific defeat at the hands of Zeeland West. It was a tough week for Danny Thompson's team. They went up there Thursday night to play.
Drive all the way up there.
Got behind 16-0. Oh, storms came in like nobody could see that coming on the radar. And so they have to drive back here, go back for an 11 a.m. restart on Friday, and they just, quite frankly, seemed to run out of gas in the second half and wound up losing that one 56-8. But I do not think that is emblematic of what to expect from this Lakeshore team this year, and we've seen that here in the home opener tonight.
Yeah, they definitely have some talent, and I really like Vaughn back there at quarterback. He looks like he's leading it well. He's going to progress as the season goes on and learn some of the reads and some of the throws to make and not to make, and very athletic group here as well.
16 seconds left here in the half. Let's see how Scott Shaw plays this. Danny Thompson does have 1 timeout left, so you can't really just take the knee. He's going to force you to punt if you do. So Brawley's going to look to throw out in the flat, too far for Julian Means Llewellyn, but that stops the clock with 12 seconds left. It'll be 3rd and 19. Brawley now 3 of 6 throwing for the night for 27 yards. Been a very even game so far here at Al Stockman Stadium. The shadows starting to overtake the field. Some of the Niles fans still sitting in the sunshine. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we'll have our Tony Letcher Health Markets student athletes and our St. Joe County Police halftime report with stats and highlights. Flag thrown as this play gets underway, and Brawley's ball is tipped away. And we'll see what the flag is all about with 7 seconds left.
I don't think a couple people weren't set, or if they were still moving.
False start, it'll be declined. Lakeshore wants to force Niles to run one more play here. If it's a punt, now would be the time to send the house. And the punt unit will come out. Andrew Qatar has been a busy young man here in the first half as Niles has been forced to punt on its last 3 possessions. Lakeshore not putting anybody deep. Another flag as this play gets underway. And the clock will expire, and the only question is, does Danny Thompson want to take the penalty? He doesn't appear to have any interest in it. In fact, he's already waved it off. So the first half comes to an end with Lakeshore and Niles all knotted up at 7. And as the teams leave the field, Angelo DiCarlo will flag down the head coach of the Lakeshore Lancers. He's got Danny Thompson for a Bills Plumbing sideline report.
Coach, what are your thoughts in that first half?
All right, we're playing, we're fighting, so we got to come out there. We got to shorten the field a little bit, make sure we're tackling. We got to make plays.
Tell us about that decision to go for it on 4th and short, deep in your own territory in the second drive.
Sometimes you got to have confidence in your kids, and I love my kids, so we'll go for it pretty much all the time.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's Danny Thompson. Chuck and Bo, back up to you.
All right, Anj, thank you very much. Stick around. A lot to talk about in our St. Joe County halftime report. But what an exciting first half. Matt Vaughn found Zach Orr with a 30-yard bomb to tie it up. They looked like they might be ready to drive for another score, but Jaden Ivory showed hands of silk right there as he takes it away. 7-7 at the intermission on 46.
Time now for our 46 Student Athletes of the Week, brought to you by Tony Letcher of Health Markets. We're joined by Lakeshore's Matt Vaughn, quarterback, and, well, a whole lot of other positions. We'll get to that in a second. And Nicholas Burns, the defensive end for the Niles Vikings. Nicholas, we'll start with you. Obviously, academics are a very big deal for you. You're ranked 4th in your senior class. Tell us how important all of that is for you.
Oh, academics is a big part of my life. I feel like I've been raised from a young age to prosper and focus on academics and try and be the best I can.
I see you want to be a pilot one day. Tell us a little bit about that. What kind of pilot and why?
I want to be a commercial pilot when I grow older. My dad was in the military. He was a Navy man. So we were stationed overseas for a couple years. I traveled a lot when I was younger, and being a pilot, being able to travel for a job is just something I'm really looking forward to.
It's really cool. What has the experience at Niles been like for you, and how has that prepared you for the future?
Niles is great. The teachers are awesome. I've always been able to go to a teacher, ask them for help, and get that help. What time of day they're always willing to take time out of their day to help you.
Nick, thank you very much. Congratulations. Matt, I mentioned you're a quarterback. You play tight end, wide receiver. You'll be a long snapper. You'll play middle linebacker. You play 3 sports. How do you keep it all together and still actually find time to study every once in a while?
I got the free time after school, try to get most of the work done in school. And just, always working in the summer every day. Just got to put that work in.
I know you're looking to hopefully play some football in college. What are those prospects looking like at the moment? And what are you looking at the future-wise in terms of maybe a major or a job you want to do in the future?
I'm talking to Grand Valley, Saginaw, a lot of those D2 GLIAC schools. So, I'm hoping to go play at Grand Valley. That's where my dad played, so it'd be an honor to play there. Major-wise, I want to be an engineer. So I don't know what type of engineering yet, but engineering is definitely what I want to do.
You mentioned your dad. Obviously, he played here at Lakeshore. What does being a Lakeshore Lancer mean to you?
It's huge. Just the community is great. Everything here. I like what Nick said is you can go up to the teachers, you can talk to them. Any problems you have, you can go up to them, and you can always sort those out with those type of people.
Matt, thank you very much. Congratulations. That's Matt Vaughn from Lakeshore, Nicholas Burns from Niles, our 46 Student Athletes of the Week, brought to you by Tony Letcher of Health Markets. We're back with your first half stats and highlights right after this on TV 46.
Back in Stevensville at the break, 7-7 between Niles and Lakeshore as the Lakeshore Marching Band getting ready to entertain this crowd here at Al Stockman Stadium at halftime. We welcome you inside the Martin Supermarket broadcast booth. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt high above the fray. And partner, last week Niles scores 55 on St. Joseph. Zeeland West scores 56 on Lakeshore. So, of course, it's 7-7 at the half.
Well, you knew that was going to happen. We were thinking maybe there's a lot of offense when we come up here, but two very evenly matched teams. They both do things a little bit different, whereas Niles like to keep it on the ground. Lakeshore's started throwing in the air a lot more, especially in that second quarter. Did well in the first quarter running the ball, but I think they like to go to the air because they know they can take advantage of that.
By the way, it's been a very physical contest, as you'll see in these first half highlights. Let's show you how it got to be this way tonight at Al Stockman Stadium. Sam Rucker got Niles moving on its first drive with a nice run all the way down to the 20-yard line. Talon Brawley would add his own footwork during the drive as well, but it was Brawley's arm that would put the Vikings in the end zone. A 17-yard strike to Brendan Olson, 7-0, and that's the way the first quarter ended. But then Lakeshore went to work in the second quarter, moving the football. On a key 4th and 2, Zach Ord is able to convert as he gets out into space and picks up 4 yards. And that's when Matt Vaughn got confident throwing the football. He went here to Cohen Hurdle for another first down to the 30, and then 2 plays later, he finds Ort streaking down the far sideline on the 30-yard fly route. Touchdown, Lancers. We're tied at 7 midway through the second quarter. We mentioned the physicality. Yeah, there's been some. Talon Bennett made sure we saw that. And the Niles secondary with a nice play here as Jaden Ivory forces the turnover with a great grab. 7-7 at the break, and the halftime stats, Bo, about as even as the scoreboard.
Yeah, when you look at the halftime stats, Lakeshore very, very balanced in their rushing and passing, of course. And Niles, of course, sticking to that passing or rushing game like they did last week. They really want to run that option to perfection. Penalties and turnovers, Niles with the couple with the penalties, and Lakeshore with that late turnover as well.
So the Lakeshore Marching Band doing its best here with its show at halftime. And we've got second half play-by-play coming your way from Al Stockman Stadium. This has been the St. Joe County Police Department halftime report on TV 46. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by HealthLink, your community health center. Chuck Freeby, Bo Hunt back with you in Stevensville. The third member of our team, Angelo DiCarlo, down on the sidelines. Anj, I assume you had a chance to speak with Scott Shaw at halftime. What are his thoughts coming into the third quarter?
Well, I asked him, what are your thoughts in the first half? And he goes, yeah, we got a nice ball game, don't we? And he smiled, and he, obviously everyone expected Niles to be the team in it, having the advantage in this one, and here we are at 7-7. And he said that right now what they need to do is simplify things in the second half. He wants to just kind of run the ball right up the gut here a little bit, simplify things offensively, and really take advantage of things for his offense and try to make it a little bit easier for his squad here to start the third quarter and just see if they can kind of run it down Lakeshore's throat here a little bit and establish themselves.
Bo, the one thing that stood out to me about Niles was maybe a lack of consistency in its blocking.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Was that first drive, they were running downhill. Their offensive line was blocking downhill, was getting off the ball, was getting some push up front. Seemed to get away from that just a little bit as the half went on. And I think that's what Coach Shaw is talking about, what they need to get back to those basics, get back to running downhill, getting off the blocks, and getting those blocks up front.
The good news for Niles is it will start the second half with the football as Lakeshore elected to receive to start the game. As you see the Vikings coming out trying to go to 2-0 on the season, but they have never won here at Al Stockman Stadium. So we'll see if they can break that curse here tonight.
In fact, there are only 2 wins against Lakeshore in the history of these two.
It's Caden Bain putting it on the tee for the Lancers. Julian Means-Llewellyn is one of the deep men for Niles along with Peyton Gordon. sun has gone down here in southwest Michigan in a nice, crystal clear, cool evening. Perfect for football here at the end of August. There's Means Llewellyn standing back at his own 15-yard line. Bain with a squib kick that goes out of bounds. And Niles will have excellent field position to start the third quarter.
Big shout out to Lakeshore staff, athletic department, Greg Younger and everybody for the excellent hospitality and food that they graciously had for us at halftime.
And I'll tell you what, it was a thrill for me at halftime to see Brent Lesniak, the former Dowagiac star, who's calling the game on the Niles radio station, and to have he meet you, because those are the two greatest running backs I've seen in high school in my lifetime.
Well, I appreciate that. And I know Brent had a good career at Dowagiac and then up at Grand Valley State, and actually played arena football for a little while as well.
He sure did. Paul Hess taking some cracking and a whacking on that 7-yard run. But Niles coming out and trying to show some of that physicality right out of the chute.
Yeah, it's important that they show it right away that they're the more physical team. And I thought they did that at the beginning of the game, but then I think they got a little bit too confident in themselves and didn't realize that Lakeshore was going to put up a fight like they have been.
Hess now at 49 yards on 8 carries for the evening. And he settles in behind Talon Brawley, and it's Hess again, this time rumbling off the left side for a Niles first down up to the 49. 6-yard carry for Hess that time. As you see Big Matt Vaughn in on the stop, the two-way player. His dad, Dan, was an outstanding linebacker here at Lakeshore. Maybe the best linebacker they've ever had for the Lancers, and went on to play at Grand Valley. Another handoff. Again, it's Hess. Why not? It's working. That's a 6-yard pop.
Hey, just stick to the well and just keep going back to it. That's what they believe. Hess on a check out of the game here, get some fresh legs in there.
It was Ord on the stop that time for the Lakeshore Lancers. Caden Garrett has come into the game, and it's Garrett with his first carry of the night, and Ort has to bulldog him down about a yard short of the first down. So Garrett gives the Vikings a 3rd and 1 here.
You could really see the line surge that time by the Niles offensive line. They really got off the ball and was 3 yards downfield before the running back even got hit to bring up this short 3rd down conversion.
Well, Scott Shaw talked about simplify. These really aren't options. These are just straight handoffs in power football. And again, it's Garrett, and he's got the first down and more as he carries it up to the 36-yard line, a pickup of 6 on the play.
These are the things that coaches like to do in this type of offense, is just 3, 4, 5-yard pickups every single time, moving the chains, moving that ball downfield. The one thing that can't happen in these situations is A, you got to hold on to the ball, and B, you cannot have any false starts or holding penalties in these situations.
So Jake Chelman will check into the game to give Lakeshore a little bit more bulk in the middle, but it doesn't matter. Garrett continues his running. He takes it up to the 29-yard line, 7 yards on the carry, and Niles is taking it right to the Lancers to begin the third quarter.
Horizon Realty Group is proud to support the Vikings as they kick off another great football season. Kyle Zelmer and his teams are natives of Southwest Michigan, and they're market experts. If we're ready to list or buy, they'll put their experience to work for you. Find them at moveyourhorizon.com.
Hess back in the game now. He takes the handoff. He's got a first down. Paul Hess bullying his way to the 21-yard line for a pickup of 8. You talk about a man's drive right now. This is what Niles is doing. They're getting in behind that veteran offensive line. Guys like Riley Cowan and Brandon Hamilton, Jimmy Gaia, Chase Brawley, and Carson Clanton, and they're saying, we are going to move the football.
And when you look at the size of those guys, you're looking at 210, 240, 240, 275, 250 across that line. I mean, those are some hosses up front that need to get after it. And the big thing that they're doing is they're wearing down this Lakeshore defense.
And so Lakeshore has had to take a timeout here with 9:01 to go in the third quarter as Danny Thompson trying to reset some helmets and have his new defensive coordinators, Trace Shue and John Vroon, reset the defense. Reminder, we've got college football Saturday afternoon on Pulse. A doubleheader as both Purdue and Indiana open up their seasons. Purdue's at home. They're in a refurbished Ross-Ade Stadium, and the Bulldogs of Fresno State, who won 10 games last season, come into West Lafayette. Won't be an easy one for Ryan Walters' debut. Won't be an easy one in Bloomington either. Number 3, Ohio State comes to calling on Tom Allen's Hoosiers. That one at 3:30 on 103.1 FM.
Oh, I thought you meant it wasn't going to be easy for Ohio State there.
Hand off Paul Hess, and this time Lakeshore's ready. A little bit of rest was maybe just what that Lakeshore defense needed, as Zach Meacham with the full flex. You'll get another look.
I love how you call a timeout and talk about what they're doing and what you need to do, and then you go out and you execute exactly what the coach talked about of knocking that middle down and stopping that dive up the middle.
2nd and 10 now. Let's see if Scott Shaw changes anything here. They have not really tested the outside. Brendan Olson, the receiver who has every Niles catch tonight, goes wide right. But it's Brawley running to the left and Sam Rucker, and we have flags coming in all over the place. It's like the United Nations arrived.
Yeah, very interesting on that pitch play too, is almost a forward pitch.
But if you're behind the line of scrimmage, that's perfectly legal,
Yep.
and he was.
Oh yeah, exactly, but as soon as he pitched that ball, there was a holding downfield. Yep, there it is.
And every guy in stripes made the call. We'll see if we can pick it up here on the 46 Sports replay. Number 80 with the tackle.
With the tackle. Offensive player with the tackle.
So Michael Chisongo with a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, which winds up being more like a 5-yard penalty on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 15. 4th whistle against Niles tonight.
2 big plays back-to-back from Lakeshore after they called a quick timeout. Stop them on the first down and then get a holding penalty called against Niles to move them back even further.
Callan Brawley, this is a little bit of a bragging rights game for him. His cousin was an outstanding quarterback at Lakeshore back in the day. And Brawley lost the football, and Means Flewellen gets it back and takes it to the 29-yard line, a loss of 3 on the play.
2 aspects I just talked about in this offense is you can't have penalties and you can't have turnovers. You got to take care of the ball, and there, almost a turnover, but a big loss of yardage to bring up a 3rd and 18.
Zach Meacham knocked it right out of his hands, so it's 3rd and 18. Brawley tonight throwing the football is 3 out of 7 for 27 yards, and all 3 completions have been to Brendan Olson, number 15, who is split wide to the top of your screen. Rucker in motion. Brawley airs it out, and Olson couldn't hang on. Well covered on the play by Cohen Hurdle, who has played a fine game defensively.
Yeah, they were looking downfield the whole time on that play. Had the running back coming out of the backfield with nobody in that lane, could have picked up maybe 15 yards on the play and close to that first down, but now you're faced with a long 4th and 18.
On the first drive of the game, Lakeshore bent, then broke. Now, can they bend and not break here and keep Niles from picking up the first down and keeping this drive alive?
Kind of in nowhere land here for Niles. They really have to go for this. The other only option is maybe try to punt it and get it inside the 5-yard line, but it looks like they're going to line up and go for it on a quick out pass.
Brawley to Sam Rucker. Rucker trying to get around the outside, but he will not get to the first down marker. He's about 8 yards short. And Lakeshore holds on downs.
Interesting call there. I like how they took it as, we're going to try to pick up the first down. We're going to try to get as many yards as possible and maybe break it for a touchdown or break it for a first down as well.
At the very least, if you're playing the field position game, you have pinned Lakeshore inside. It's 20.
Yep.
And now you make their offense show that they can move the chains again.
Enders Auto Repair on Red Arrow Highway cheers for the Lancers. Have a great season. Everything from changing the oil to changing engines. Enders Auto Repair is your full service shop.
The Lancers with Matt Vaughn at quarterback. He was 6 of 11 for 57 yards throwing in the first half. But he'll hand it off here to Asher Kuhn. And Kuhn rumbles up to the 22-yard line to pick up a 3. Kuhn with 33 yards on 11 carries tonight, and it has been tough sledding.
6 carries in just that first quarter for Kuhn. Going right back to where they started the game as well, with him right up the middle and picking up some big yardage up the middle.
He is used to using his speed on the track, although he can take a bump or two. He's a hockey player.
They bump in hockey?
Just at the high school level,
Or
they
they
bump.
check in hockey?
Yeah, well, that too. Here's Vaughn. Matt Vaughn, the quarterback, has a first down for Lakeshore up to the 33-yard line. His longest run of the night, good for 11 yards.
Vaughn with a nice slippery move. Wondered when he was going to get started running the ball a little bit more here in the second half, already having his first carry on their first drive.
They kept him pretty well under wraps in terms of the running game in the first half. Now he's going with an empty backfield. Trips to the left, twins to the right. Niles showing blitz. Let's see if Lakeshore changes the play. Play clock you see on the bottom of the Tire Rack scoreboard. They got to hurry. Just did get it off. Vaughn under pressure, and the big fella goes down out of bounds at the 28-yard line. That's a loss of 5 on the play.
Kind of laughing at that last play. They had 6 Niles defenders coming after Vaughn, and he never went down on that play. Went out of bounds there at the end, but actually never got taken down. He was able to elude them the whole time.
He's 6'5", 205 pounds, pretty solidly built, and has very good balance from his days as a wrestler. And finally, Garrett was able to get him to at least step out of bounds at the 29, so 2nd and 14. Vaughn now with time. Steps into it and throws, and it is caught at the 45 by Cohen Hurdle. He'll go to the 44 for a Lakeshore first down, a 27-yard pickup, and you get another look.
It was actually kind of good that he underthrew that ball a little bit, is able to come back to the ball. The defender thought the ball was going deep, turned his head, and when he turned his head, that's when the receiver caught the ball behind.
Hurdle, a member of the baseball team here at Lakeshore, and that one was like he was waiting for an infield fly. 1st and 10 from the Viking 44. Vaughn from the gun again. Steps up, throws, almost intercepted. Alex Anderson had a couple of hands on it, but couldn't put it away.
Looks like Alexander had his hands on that ball. He was dreaming of another pick there and possibly a touchdown.
So it's 2nd and 10. Matt Vaughn, the 3-year starter on defense, but in his first year as the starting quarterback here at Lakeshore. They'll try to run it with Kuhn, and Kuhn is able to take it up to the 42-yard line. Only a pickup of 2 on the play. Nice open field tackle that time by Brandon Hamilton, the 6', 240-pound sophomore.
This football season, Canes is serving up their delicious cook-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle cut fries, fresh coleslaw, buttery Texas toast, and tangy King sauce. And it's all available to pre-order at raisingcanes.com or on the mobile app One Love.
Under 5 minutes to go, third quarter, still knotted at 7 between Niles and Lakeshore. Vaughn back to pass. He wants to go deep for Zach Ord. Too far. Anderson had the coverage, but Ord had a step on him.
Ord again just had that one step. The ball needs to be thrown just to that outside shoulder. Instead, it was thrown to the inside and a little deep. Throws at the outside shoulder. It actually travels a little bit farther, and then at that point, you'll be able to drop it right in the Ord.
So Alec Woniak on to do the punting. You see Alex Cole is the deep man for Niles back at his 10. Woniak with a high banger that's going to hit at the 5, and Lakeshore down to the 6. So they've got the Vikings pinned deep in their own field. Can they keep them there, or are the Vikings about to go on a long march? 4:33 to go in the third. 7-7 when we come back. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Imagineering Finishing Technologies, IFT, where quality is a way of life. So here's Niles, 1st and 10 at the 6. They'll give it to the fullback, Caden Garrett, and Garrett rambles up to the 15-yard line for about a 9-yard pickup.
Again, Niles going right back to that well, going right up the middle. Exactly what they want to do is wear this defense down.
Garrett has been a nice alternative to Paul Hess in that backfield tonight, giving Hess a chance to maybe catch his breath a little bit from time to time. Rucker in motion, but it's Garrett again. Stymied a little bit off the right side, or excuse me, the left side, but he gets 3, and that's good enough for a Viking first down.
Yeah, exactly what Niles wants to do here, and Coach Shaw is move those chains, pick up a couple first downs here, and get some points out of it. Run that clock.
Now let's see if Niles does anything to try to press to the outside here. See if that opens up a little bit for them on this right-hand side with the open field. They run Means Fluellen in motion, but it was Garrett up the middle, and he took a lick after a pickup of 3.
Custom Tool and Die in Stevensville is proud to support high school athletics. Join a team with over 54 years in business. Custom Tool and Die is hiring program operators as well as CNC operators.
Zach Meacham has had a ton of hits tonight on this Lakeshore defense. 2nd and 7. And again, they give it to the fullback, and Garrett wrangles his way up the field to the 24-yard line. He's going to be looking at a 3rd and a little more than 2, a little bit less than 3. Niles running the ball effectively tonight, 155 yards rushing. Of course, they had a big night rushing the football last week with 381 against St. Joe. Movement along the line of scrimmage. Who jumped?
Looked like it was a good call on the cadence, got an offsides call, and we sure do.
So encroachment called against Lakeshore, a big 5-yard penalty that'll move the chains for the Vikings. That is the 12th first down of the night for Niles. First and 10 from their own 29. Remember, this drive started back at the 8. Brawley giving everybody the play call. And it's Garrett again. And he gets a push off the left side for about 6. Or excuse me, that was Paul Hess that time back in the game. Hess has carried the ball now 13 times tonight for 76 yards.
Nothing better than a first down play and be able to pick up 6 yards right up the middle and make it 2nd and 4 here in their second series of the second half.
Clock ticking down. And again, they give it off. Not a whole lot of room for Garrett that time. And Garrett is able to get maybe a yard. It'll be a 3rd and 3.
The Lakeshore football boosters want to recognize and thank all the first responders that spent time with the team this week, plus thanks to all firefighters, police officers, and EMTs in the stands and watching on TV.
You see the camera shaking a little bit because the Lakeshore fans pounding on the bleachers. Brawley keeps it himself, and Talon takes it for a first down up to the 42-yard line. Pickup of 6 on the play for the savvy Niles quarterback, who now has 32 yards rushing on the night. Really good balance in this Niles attack. Hess with 78 yards, Rucker 39, Garrett 30, and Brawley now up to 32. You look at the veteran Scott Shaw on the sidelines. This is 34th season. He won a state championship at Three Rivers. He's already in the Michigan High School Hall of Fame. The end-around attempt with Julian Means-Fluellen has not worked at all tonight, and it will not now.
No, they are not letting that play develop whatsoever. They were all over it, read that play completely.
Means-Fluellen has not had a yard tonight on 5 attempts. And we'll see if Niles tries to get off one more play before the quarter comes to an end. They don't have to. Brawley looking over at the sidelines and has decided that the 4th quarter will start before Niles runs another play. The emotions, as you might imagine, running high in a rivalry game. The 30th meeting between Niles and Lakeshore has had all kinds of contact, but not a lot of points. 7-7 between the Vikings and the Lancers as we head to the 4th on 46. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Raising Cane's craveable chicken finger meals. One love. Time to go downstairs for a Bills Heating sideline report. Angelo DiCarlo, this one's been like a trip to the dentist. It's been tough.
It's been a great game. I mean, and the energy, Chuck, I can barely hear you right now because that's how much energy there's been in the crowd. I think this is a game where maybe not that many people thought Lakeshore was going to be in it. Here we are in the 4th quarter. They're very much in this game, right? And there's a belief, there's an excitement in the stands that, you know, on some of these plays, you're not sure if you could hear yourself think in this building here at Al Stockman Stadium because of the fact of how loud this crowd is getting because they are so excited and pumped up, and they're feeding that energy to the players on the field.
Oh, they're going to be looking at a big 3rd and 7 here, and Caden Garrett hobbling off the field after that play, which means Hess will come back on for the Vikings. You have to think that Talon Brawley might be going to the air here. As we've said, the only person he's thrown it to tonight is Brendan Olson. And Cohen Hurdle's got him one-on-one on the near side. But Brawley's going to the far side, and there's Julian Means-Fluellen staying in bounds. Did not get the first down, but it makes it manageable for Niles with a 4th and 1 or 2.
Yeah, good play there, good read. Got it down the field, very manageable 4th down here. And they did get it across midfield, too, for the field position aspect.
And it's Brawley on a quarterback sneak, and he's got the first down. A pickup of 2 on the play.
Hey, you're looking for a great finish here tonight? So is Imaginarian Finishing Technologies in South Bend. They're globally known as the knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. Like the teams in this game, Imaginarian is always working toward a great finish.
Our 4th quarter tonight being brought to you by MAAC Property Services. That's MAC Property Services. Niles approaching the 20-minute mark in time of possession for this game with a 1st and 10. Brawley handed it off, and Paul Hess on the carry. Managed to stay inbound, but picked up about 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Again, a nice little pickup there. Clock stays running.
Hess now with 80 yards rushing on the night.
Guess they did say he got out of bounds. Looked like they were waiting for him to continue the clock to run.
On 2nd and 6, it's Hess again. Fumbles, and Lakeshore has it. Hess had it pop loose, and that wrestling match will go to Lakeshore as so many have in the past. Caden Griffiths, the freshman, pounces on it. The first Viking turnover of the night.
Great job by Lakeshore getting in. You can see the ball came up, put the head right on the nose of that football and popped it out.
Matt Vaughn had the stick that knocked it loose. And as Angelo mentioned, the Lancer fans starting to believe. The
Vaughn.
freshman Griffiths with the recovery.
Vaughn, of course, going both ways, the linebacker spot, and of course the quarterback as well. A lot of times you don't see that combo, quarterback and linebacker going both ways, but sometimes smaller schools, you have to do it that, and especially if they're your best athletes. And of course, granted, Matt's more of a linebacker than he is a quarterback.
But Danny Thompson lauding him before the game for his leadership abilities as well, and said he was really the guy that kind of galvanized this team this week and said, shake off what happened last week, and they have. Here's the throw out in the flat to Lucas Fay, but that doesn't go for anything.
Vaughn slipped a little bit on that throw, trying to get it out there. Getting a little cooler here tonight. That turf's probably getting a little wet out there.
2nd and 10 at its own 39 for the Lancers. Bludgeoned by Zeeland West last week, but they have come back here tonight and put together a terrific defensive game plan against this Viking squad. Now can they make something happen on offense? Single coverage to the left of Vaughn. But Vaughn going to run that way instead and take a lick or two from Caden Garrett and company.
MAAC Property Services, a family-owned company offering full-service commercial grounds maintenance and snow removal in northern Indiana. Yes, that's snow removal in northern Indiana and southwest Michigan. Celebrating 25 years of business this year, MAAC Property Services is proud to support the Vikings as they start a great season of football, and go Vikings.
The Lakeshore band trying to rev up their team on a big 3rd and 8 with 9:22 and counting in regulation. Vaughn tonight 8 of 15, throwing the football for 83 yards. He was picked once. He's looking to throw here. Pressure coming. Throw over the middle, knocked away. Beautiful defense that time by Talon Bennett.
Just a great job of defending that by Bennett, putting the arm out in front, knocking that ball away, staying right on that receiver. That was a decent throw by Vaughn as well. Just great defensive play there.
He was looking for Cohen Hurdle, but couldn't get it to him. Bennett breaks it up beautifully. So Alex Woyan on to punt. Cole back deep.
Ooh.
And it's a hanger. Cole fumbles, ball loose. Niles has it at the 8. The Vikings flirting with disaster, but Bennett comes through to rescue his teammate. Cole trying to field that one, took his eye off of it at the last minute, and they're lucky that Bennett was back there to hop on it at the 8-yard line. So the second straight possession, the Niles has to start at its own 8. And honestly, this isn't an offense that's meant to march 92 yards at a time.
Yeah, I mean, they want to pound the ball downhill, like we talked about. They've been able to do that But again, they're having penalties. They had the fumble. Things that you just can't have happen in this offense. You know, we're at the point now in the game, 7-7 ball game. It's anyone's ball game. Look for that big play. Look for a big defensive interception for a touchdown, a special teams for a touchdown, or maybe offensively somebody bust one big.
Last year in the game we did against Buchanan, it was Paul Hess who busted one big for 80 yards in the second half. Here it's Talon Brawley carrying the football, and Brawley, the quarterback, getting about 4 yards on the play. Brawley has had to carry it 9 times tonight. He barely had to carry it at all last week in the win over St. Joseph. But Scott Shaw admitted before the game, it was just one of those games where everything seemed to go their way. On 2nd and 6, it's Hess off the right side. And Hess gets a late push to get the first down up to the 19-yard line.
I like how they go right back to Hess on this drive after the last drive with that fumble. Which is a great job of really holding on that ball, trusting in your running back, and giving him the rock.
Hess approaching 100 yards for the night, but not there yet. 1st and 10 from the 19. It's Hess again off the right side. And he uses those strong legs to back his way up to the 22-yard line to pick up a 3. And this is a point in the game with so many guys going both ways, Bo, that conditioning is truly a factor for these teams.
Oh, it definitely is. And remember, this is only week 2 for Michigan up here, whereas it's week 3 in Indiana. This second week, you're starting to get your legs back a little bit, but going both ways, it helps that it's a cooler night than it has been the last few weeks as well.
Brawley now rolls to the right, and he's going to pick up the first down. I'm not sure that that wasn't a busted play, but it's going to work out.
I agree. It looked like it might have been a little bit of a bootleg, but looked more of a busted play than anything. Here you can see on the replay, looks like he went to hand and went to pitch, and there was nobody there. So he just kept it, took the bootleg around, picked up the first down.
We haven't called his name enough tonight, but Luke Ponson has had a ton of tackles for this Lakeshore defense this evening. But it was good for a first down for Brawley and the Vikings. 1st and 10 from the 29. They give it to the fullback. This is Garrett back in the game, and Caden Garrett pushes forward to the 32-yard line to pick up a 3.
This game's health tip is brought to you by HealthLink. Healthy kids are better students and better athletes. Schedule an annual wellness checkup at HealthLink today. HealthLink offers medical, dental, vision, and much more.
The Niles offensive line has had some very solid push all night long. They've run the ball for 225 yards in this game. They need to find a way to get some points on the board from their own 31. Here's Julian Means-Fluellen around the outside, and an excellent open field tackle for Lakeshore at the 35-yard line.
They've been setting that play up for a few plays now with those fakes and trying to get Llewellyn that ball on the outside. That time he was able to get it, found the seam, but wasn't able to break a tackle.
Alex Wouillon coming up and making the hit. 3rd and 4. Jumping, and I think Lakeshore went on encroaching. The Niles students celebrating on the far side. A first down for the Vikings.
Well, the big thing is here is as Niles is running this clock down with this drive, they've only picked up 30 yards in just over 3 minutes in this drive already.
Yeah, they're still on their side of the field at the 40-yard line. But they can use the clock as a weapon here, too. If you punch it in late enough, you don't give Lakeshore time to respond. Brawley with a rugby-style scrum up to the 45-yard line. Alan Brawley's going to wear some bumps and bruises after this one.
Yeah, it looked like his momentum got started, his forward progress got bumped back about 3 or 4 yards from that spot, but officials got it correct and marked him where his forward progress had stopped.
Second down and 5 for the Vikings. 5.5 to go in regulation. Brawley to Rucker on an end around. And Rucker cuts it back up the middle. Rucker with a big play up to the 37. Make it the 36, a pickup of 19 for Sam Rucker.
Looking for that big play, and Rucker's the one that's able to do it. Nice little cutback, a little juke move there. Was able to take the tackler up another 4 or 5 yards for the big pickup for this Niles offensive team.
He ran for 195 yards last week in the win over St. Joe. That was just on 7 carries. Tonight, 5 carries for 54 yards. It's Hess slamming off the left side. Paul Hess lost the ball again. It's still loose. Niles is on it. Up at the 24. And a first down for the Vikings.
Hess checking out of the game after that play. He was slamming himself in the chest saying, my fault, my fault. You can see they're just ripping at the ball. Ort right there, Ort's the one that ripped it out.
And then the recovery made for Niles that time by Max Rucker, the freshman. Niles down to the Lakeshore 24 with 4:35 to go. Brawley gives it to Julian Means-Fluellen, and on the spin move, he gets buried by Alex Toothman at the 24, only a pickup of 1.
Big reminder this weekend, if you're out and about for Labor Day weekend, stop by Plymouth for their 57th annual Blueberry Festival. It's happening this weekend. Bring the whole family for great food and great family fun. Check out all the festivities at blueberryfestival.org.
Second down and 9. Brawley will keep it himself on the option. And the Viking quarterback slides down at about the 19-yard line to set up a 3rd and 5. Niles has not thrown the ball on this drive. You try it here. You're in 4-down territory inside the 20.
I'm pretty sure they're going to keep this on the ground like they have all night and take it right up the middle.
Brawley going to check out of the play.
Trying to get him to jump there in the first one.
And he gave it to Caden Garrett, and Garrett battling, still battling, pushing forward, got the first down up to the 13. What a run by Caden Garrett. That was all guts.
Yeah, it's a nice job of really driving the legs on the way the offensive line got in there to help push that scrum just a little bit farther as well. Exactly, Rucker that actually got in there and helped push that.
Sure was. We've got an injured Lancer down on the field. We'll take a break with 2:59 to go in regulation. Niles and Lakeshore tied at 7 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Chuck Freeby, Bo Hunt, Angelo DiCarlo, as you take a look at Scott Shaw. The S's are used here. 232 career wins in Southwest Michigan, which ranks in 3rd among coaches. Brawley pitches it to Julian Means-Fluellen. I believe that's going to go as a pass. It was behind the line of scrimmage where the pitch occurred, and Means-Fluellen steps out of bounds at about the 9-yard line, a pickup of 5.
Yeah, I think if they were on the short side of the field in that pitch, if they were to the wide side, that might have been a 6-point play right there with Fluellen getting the outside.
Second and 5. 2:45 to go. The clock stopped as Means-Fluellen went out of bounds. It's Hess up the middle. Paul Hess bulling his way. He's over 100 yards rushing tonight, and he's got a first down up to the 4-yard line. It's 1st and goal for Niles. What a drive this has been for the Vikings. They started back at their own 8 after a fumbled punt, and they are trying to march it 92 yards right down the teeth of the Lakeshore defense, and the Lancers have an official timeout for an injury once again. We'll keep it right here.
I was trying to see, I guess there is an injured player in the end zone there. It was covered up with the red letters in the end zone.
Reminder, Indiana football coming your way on the high school scene Friday night and Saturday morning as the Riley Wildcats 2-0 on the season go into School Field to take out Frank Karszewski and the Adams Eagles. We've got it for you Friday night 11 and Saturday morning at 9 on your home for more sports more often. TV 46. Let's go down for a Bills Heating sideline report. Angelo DiCarlo, what do you got?
Guys, I think cramping is something that Lakeshore was kind of worried about because of the fact that they have 7 starters starting on both sides of the ball. Meanwhile, Niles has just 4 starters starting on both sides of the ball. So that's starting to become a factor here late in the game, and certainly Lakeshore trying to make sure that they can keep their best guys on the field.
They'll need them now. 1st and goal from the 4. 2:39 to go in regulation. That young man, Talon Brawley, has been effective running this attack tonight and sometimes running it himself. The injured Lancers still not off the field, and so they have to wait until Jake Chelman gets to the sidelines. Now he does, and the clock can run. Garrett is the fullback. It's Garrett up the middle, touchdown Niles. Caden Garrett with the touchdown from 4 yards out, and the Vikings are back in front at 13-7.
Sticking to what worked best in the first half and what's worked all here in the second half is right up the middle and following those big hosses. See them getting off the ball right there. That offensive line deserves a lot of credit here in the second half.
Now a huge extra point operation here with Andrew Qatar putting it up and through, and with 2:28 to go in regulation, Niles is looking to break an 18-game losing streak to Lakeshore. They haven't beaten the Lancers since 2003. Will that end tonight? We'll find out next on 46. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week is being brought to you by API St. Andrews. 31 years of success. That young man, Caden Garrett, will he be talking with Angelo DiCarlo in a couple of minutes? Perhaps. He just scored the go-ahead touchdown that may give Niles its first win over Lakeshore in 20 years. But the Lancers still have 2:28 to do something about it here on their home field.
Yeah, and with this offense and the ability for Vaughn to put the ball up in the air, they can pick up big chunks of play here with just under 2.5 left and 3 timeouts left. Or 2 timeouts actually for Lakeshore, 3 for Niles.
Qatar waiting for the official signal. And he sends a spinner down to about the 14-yard line. Cohen Hurdle trying to bring it back for Lakeshore. He'll go down at the 28, and that's where the Lancers will start with 2:21 on the clock.
Martin Supermarkets Groceries to Go annual subscriptions are now available, just $29.99 for the year. Get ad pricing, digital coupon, recipes directly from your account. Learn more at martinsgroceriestogo.com.
Lakeshore has only had 27 passing yards here in the second half. Then again, they've only had 2 possessions. Now they're running a stack formation out to the bottom of your screen and to the top. But they'll run it up the middle and getting loose for about 8 yards on the play. Don't know if that, yeah, that was Asher Kuhn that time. Couldn't tell if that was him or not. Kuhn picks up 8, and it'll be 2nd and 2, and the Lancers in a hurry-up offense. 2nd and 2. It's Kuhn again. I don't think he made the first down. He's going to be spotted about a yard short.
Yeah, I think they're actually. They waved to stop the clock, and one ref pointed first down. Now they're going to say they call him in. Now they got an injured player on the ground.
Yeah, there's a Niles player that's cramping, so they did have to stop the clock with 1:48 to go on a 3rd and 1.
And they did give him the first down.
Wow. It looked like he was about a yard short from where the one side judge was.
Yep.
Well, it's salute to service night here at Niles, and before the game I had a chance to ask the Lakeshore coach Danny Thompson about why they went with this theme tonight.
Yeah, so we have great people in the community. We had the Shrekkies really step up and help us with this. But my big thing when I came here is I wanted to give back and show these kids that people do stuff. They don't ask anything for it. So we choose something every year. Last year we did the Armed Forces, and this year we're doing first responders. So the kids all week got to sit and listen to firefighters and K-9 units. And my message to them is, we call 911 and we expect somebody to show up. But the stuff behind that is people really kind of take granted for. So I want our kids to understand that people do more than we know, and we live in a great country that has these things right at our fingertips all the time. So, and our kids were great. They listen, and I think you might have changed some of their minds about what career paths they have. So anytime we can get those kids in those situations is good.
Great stuff. Best to you and the Lance.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And Lakeshore responding in an emergency situation here. Matt Vaughn up top to the freshman Caden Griffiths, who's injured on the play down at the 16.
We've heard so much about this freshman and his speed. He showed it right there in that play. And Vaughn with a great job of just lofting the ball up, nice spiral, putting it out front. Great catch and great. Oh, that's where the knee hyperextended.
That is a 46-yard pickup on the play, but that hurt to look at.
The way the knee came back, it might even been the groin stretched out and really stretched that groin muscle as well, but that did not look good whatsoever.
All right, we will take a break while Griffiths recovers. 1:25 to go in regulation, although he's getting up now, so they're going to be able to help him off the field. So we'll keep it right here. But unfortunately, it looks like even though he's flexing those legs, he's getting a little bit better coming off the field. We'll see if he's able to come back in this game or not.
Not quite the supermoon we had last night, but boy.
Well, that would be the definition. You know what's coming.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big old possum hunting moon in the sky tonight over Stevensville. 1st and 10 from the 17. Vaughn from the gun. Trips to his right. He looks that way. He pops and down he goes. Sam Rucker with his 19th career sack.
Just come in from the backside, the blind side for Rucker. He went to pull the ball down and turn, and Rucker was right there. Wow, we got some physical football out there tonight.
Vaughn did a great job to hang on to the football because Rucker was right in his kitchen. And a timeout going to be called by whom? Lakeshore. They'll have one left with 51 seconds left in regulation. Niles by 7 on 46. With Bo Hunt and Angelo DiCarlo, it's Chuck Freeby at Al Stockman Stadium in Stevensville. We're in the 4th quarter. 51 seconds remain. Niles leads Lakeshore 14-7. The Lancers have it 2nd and 18 at the Viking 24. Matt Vaughn, who was stretching his neck a little bit after taking that sack, back in there at quarterback and looking to throw again. Fires a bullet and has his man up to about the 13-yard line. And that's Zach Ort with the catch.
Bring up another 3rd manageable here, 3rd and 7. But the clock is running, only one timeout.
Obviously 4-down territory now. Is Danny Thompson going to use his last one? He will with 31 seconds left. They let some precious time tick off the clock there.
About 12 seconds went off the clock there before they decided to call that timeout.
Well, Ort was trying his darndest to get out of bounds here, as you'll get another look on the 46 Sports replay. And a good, sure tackle by Alex Anderson. And while Ort did eventually land out of bounds, he was ruled down inbounds.
Forward progress pretty much stopped at that point before he started to the ground as well.
So the Niles Vikings are trying to start 2-0. You know how long it's been since they've had back-to-back winning seasons?
Been some time.
2002, 2003. That's the last time, over 20 years ago. And now Scott Shaw's team trying to get off to a great start here in 2023. Snap a streak against a long rival. Get their first win ever in this facility. Can they do it here tonight? Their defense needs 2 more stops. It's 3rd and 7 with 31 seconds left. Vaughn to throw. Lobbing for the end zone. Touchdown, Lakeshore! Zach Ort. And now, do the Lancers go for 2?
They're actually calling people out. There's the fireworks show. Calling some extra bodies out there.
Oh, Danny Thompson, you are a gambling man. He is going to go for 2 with 27 seconds left. There you see Ort at the bottom of your screen. He split wide to the right.
Niles is trying to call timeout.
And they
running
will.
Crazy on the sideline. I mean, they have 3 to burn here, and most important play of the game at this point.
All on the line for the Vikings and Lancers with 1 play with 27 seconds left. Boy, this has been a fun one here in Southwest Michigan. We had a great one a couple of years ago when we came here for the Lakeshore Portage Central game, and Lakeshore won that by 4. Let's take one more look at the touchdown from Vaughn to Ort, their second TD connection of the night, and Vaughn made no doubt who he was going to once he saw him in single coverage.
Again, that great backside shoulder throw right there to Ort. Ort understands on that play where the ball is going and what needs to be done in order to catch that ball, and I love that they're going for 2 here.
Well, you also made the point earlier. I mean, Vaughn plays a lot of different positions. He's not just a quarterback. To have the instincts to make that throw, that's a big-time play.
Yeah, look for some options here on this play.
Vaughn to Asher Kuhn. Did he get in? Yes! 2 points for Lakeshore, and they've got the lead. What a scene here at Al Stockman as you get another look. Asher Kuhn just made a left turn to pay dirt.
Wow, what a great job leaning the body in, getting across that goal line for the 2-point conversion to take the lead here late in the 4th quarter, less than 30 seconds to go. Great call. I was surprised that they didn't let Vaughn just keep in his hands, do some type of rollout, have 3 blockers in front of him, and set it up to where he might be able to just dump the ball over the middle if he needed to the tight end, or take it in himself.
All camp, Danny Thompson has told anybody who wants to listen that Asher Kuhn runs downhill. That was the very definition. He got to a point and he said, here we go.
Yeah, he's got a great number there too.
In case you have forgotten, Mr. Hunt wore 21 in green. The Vikings have 27 seconds left to try to change their fortune here. And the Lancers may have just pulled out a great Houdini act here at Al Stockman.
no scoring for most of the second and third and part of the fourth quarters. And then within the last 2.5 minutes of the game, we've had 15 points on the board.
Squib kick. It'll be taken at the 23. And the submarine comes in at the 36 to upend the Niles Julian Means Llewellyn.
One thing you do not want to have happen here, though, is on any type of pass play, try not to have a pass interference on the play. It'd be better to hold the defender and just get a 5-yard or a 10-yard penalty rather than getting the pass interference downfield.
Talon Brawley is just 3 of 8 throwing the ball tonight for 27 yards, but he's going to have to air it out on a couple of plays here. Niles with 2 timeouts remaining, so he can throw down the middle of the field. It doesn't have to just be sideline stuff. Brawley rolling out. Flag comes in, and the pass is incomplete. Broken up on a nice defensive play by Cohen Hurdle.
I think there might be a holding call to boot. There's 2 flags down in that area on the offense. They'll probably decline this penalty. They might move it back because with the time to make them go further.
The yardage is more of a factor at this point than the downs. So yeah, you'll just keep pushing them back anytime you can. Ten-yard penalty will put it back to the 25. The combination of Vaughn and Ort with a couple of touchdowns tonight. Can Brawley come up with a big one here? He airs it out, but over the head of his intended receiver, Sam Rucker.
He had Rucker deep down the field, just threw it to the outside, out of bounds. He leads him to the inside. I actually think Rucker might take that ball to the house.
12 seconds left. You come back to that same route?
You might want to think about doing something very similar to that. I mean, that was just a great route that he ran. The ball was thrown to the outside, not out of bounds. If he throws that inside, just outside the numbers, I honestly, the Rucker takes that to the house. There's nobody over the top.
Niles takes a timeout. I want to go downstairs to Angelo DiCarlo for a Bills Heating sideline report. I know he's talking to Greg Younger right now about what is going to happen at the end of this game, but Angelo, is it as crazy down on the sideline as it is up here in the stands?
What?
I said, is it as crazy down on the sideline as it is up here in the stands?
Yeah, you see all the kids back there? The student body's down on the field. They're getting ready, maybe not to rush the field, I'm told, because they're going to meet with the players behind the goalpost if they win, but they might just rush the field. We'll just have to see if they win the game. And good luck stopping them if you got 700 kids versus 2 security people. But yes, it's very crazy down here.
Ons, just hide behind the cameraman. That's what I used to do. Let them get trampled first.
2nd and 21, 12 seconds left. Brawley, they're going to try an end-around pass with Brendan Olson, but Olson's going to run out of bounds with 5 seconds left and give Niles one last Hail Mary.
Lakeshore all over the trick plays. They're just playing back, so nothing deep downfield was really open.
And Niles will use its last time out to talk about what they want to do here. Reminder, 2 new radio programs on Pulse FM that Anj and I co-host. One is called the Irish Football Fix after Notre Dame plays Tennessee State on Saturday. We'll talk about what we saw on Monday and give you a preview as they get ready for the Wolfpack at North Carolina State. That's Monday night at 7 on Notre Dame Federal Credit Union's Irish Football Fix. And then Friday nights at 6, it's the Tire Rack Drive to the game as we talk all things high school football from 6 to 6:30 on Pulse FM.
Great shows to listen to if you're in the car, riding around, or heading to that game on a Friday night.
The funny thing is, as this one airs on Friday afternoon, the end of this game will be up against the drive to the game. But, oh well, those are the things that happen sometimes. Talon Brawley with one last chance to try to bail this out for Niles. He'll throw it the hook and ladder to Sam Rucker. Rucker thrown down, ball game over. Lakeshore wins it, and they will storm the field at Al Stockman. Pandemonium best describes this one tonight, folks. 15-14, Lakeshore over Niles. We're back with our electrifying play of the game, our players of the game, and our St. Joe County Police Department post-game show, all next on 46.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by
Nobody wants to seem to leave Al Stockman Stadium. Danny Thompson and his team giving thanks for a 15-14 victory over Niles tonight in an absolute thriller here in Southwest Michigan. Welcome inside the Martin Supermarket broadcast booth. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt safely ensconced above the fray. Wow, what a ball game.
What a finish. I mean, you come out here, it was a very physical game. We knew that coming in, that these teams were destined to come in here, battle each other. Lakeshore, off their huge defeat last week, was going to prove a point. And Niles, they came in here, a little swag, didn't understand exactly what they were going to do in the first half with kind of their offense. The second half, they came out and they really pushed the ball downfield.
They did, and they had a drive that looked like a game-winning drive, but they left a little too much time on the clock, and our Raising Cane players of the game took advantage of it. Angelo is standing by with Matt Vaughn and Zach Ort.
Matt Vaughn, Zach Ort. Matt, we'll start with you. What a win. How does this feel?
I mean, it feels amazing. I mean, I would just like to thank Jesus Christ for this opportunity. Let us come out here and play football. And I mean, it was a team effort. We played amazing. I mean, everyone on this team played great. We stepped up.
Zach, I don't know many people that gave you guys a chance coming in tonight, and you get the victory. How proud are you of your team?
Oh, I'm so proud. You know, we knew that the Harold Palladium said we were going to lose by 31 points, and that's what motivated us and to come out here and get this victory.
You got the fan base coming out here, your students rushing the field. How exhilarating is that as a senior?
Oh, it feels amazing. You know, this is what I've been working for the past 3 years, and, you know, it's great to finally be here and have a win.
Matt, you know, when you look at this, you guys got blown out last week. They won big, and you guys had to regroup. How did you guys regroup to make this win happen?
I mean, we took last year, and like you said last week, we had a ton of tough losses last year. We didn't win a game at home, and we knew we were coming in. We were winning this game no matter what on our home field.
I want you to look to your right. Go. Go. Have fun.
Thank you.
See you guys. Bo, Chuck, back up to you.
Our players of the game brought to you by Raising Cane's craveable chicken finger meals, One Love. What a scene it is down on that field right now here at Al Stockman. The players, the students, the band all celebrating, and it was provided with our electrifying play of the game. Sure, the 2 touchdowns by Vaughn and Ort, but then they needed a 2-point conversion, and they were able to get it from Asher Kuhn.
Just a great call and a great play, and McCune just a great run up the middle, seeing where the hole was, turning, making that cut, running downhill, knowing where the goal line was and crossing it. Plain and simple.
So our play of the game is brought to you by the electrical workers of Local 153, making our communities brighter. And boy, there was a lot of electricity in this stadium tonight here in Stevensville. A great football game. We hope you enjoyed it, and our thanks to our TV 46 crew who helped bring you this one. Dean Corsmo taking care of his wife Paula, who had surgery on a detached retina. We hope she's doing okay. So our great crew, Matt Kowalski, Tony Beltran, and the rest of them just stepped up with the next man in mentality and got the job done and brought you all these great pictures. A reminder, high school football Friday night 11 and Saturday morning at 9 from Indiana. It's the Riley Wildcats and the Adams Eagles from Schoolfield. The live stream at 6 on Facebook, YouTube, and the Champions Network. And Indy 11 soccer comes your way Saturday night on TV 46, facing Miami. Now from our broadcast partners, the Hall of Famer Bo Hunt and Angelo DiCarlo, Chuck Freeby. Once again, the final, Lakeshore 15, Niles 14. So long from Stevensville.